50 years ago, this moment happened. No audience, no fanfare. Just a few people in a room who had no idea they were about to change music forever. The photo survived by accident. The story behind it was almost lost. But here it is, exactly the way it happened. And once you see it, you'll never hear the song the same way again. The Grassroots in 1972, near the end of their incredible string of hits. What many don't realize is they weren't a traditional band, but a project with a revolving door of musicians. This version, with Rob Grill, was the one that truly defined their sound. A quiet breakfast for a rock god. But Jimmy Page's downtime was anything but ordinary. In 1970, he purchased the former home of occultist Aleister Crowley, indulging his lifelong fascination with esoteric history and mysticism. This wasn't a pose. This was the real Johnny Cash in a quiet moment backstage around 1961. You can see the weight of the world on him, the same raw, conflicted spirit that would soon conquer Folsom Prison and captivate a nation. This was Guns N' Roses' first ever UK show. It was an industry showcase at the legendary Marquee Club that quickly got out of control. The mayhem created an immediate, massive buzz that helped break the band in Europe. REO Speedwagon in 1981. The year they ruled the world with High Infidelity. But this was no overnight success. The band had been grinding it out on the road for over a decade, the ultimate Midwestern bar band that finally hit the jackpot. A young Bruce Springsteen in New Jersey, around 1973. He wasn't a superstar yet, just a local kid with a record deal. He was living the very scenes he wrote about, turning gas stations and back roads into the mythology of Born to Run. Mick Jagger, Hyde Park, 1969. White dress, book in hand, reading Shelley to 250,000 people. A farewell to Brian Jones. Thousands of white butterflies released into the summer air. Rock and roll had never seen anything like this. A memorial turned into a moment of rebirth. A moment of pure respect. Here, the writer of Blue Suede Shoes, Carl Perkins, signs an autograph for its most famous singer, Elvis Presley. Elvis always deferred to Carl as a true original, a master songwriter and a superior guitarist. Freddie Mercury, 40th birthday, 1986. Just a year after Live Aid made him immortal. The party was legendary. Costumes, drag queens, excess on every level. Freddie knew how to celebrate. This was him at full blast, living like there's no tomorrow. Backstage in Germany, September 6th, 1970. The festival was a mess, tense and disorganized, and a weary Jimi Hendrix gave what would become his final performance. This photo captures one of rock's greatest talents in a quiet moment, just days before we lost him. The final days of a supergroup. This portrait of Cream was taken during their farewell tour. The shows on this American tour would be recorded for their final album, which had the perfect, simple, and bittersweet title, Goodbye. long before he was a heartland hero. This was Bob Seger. In his early Detroit days, he was a fiery protest singer, releasing the raw, anti-Vietnam War anthem 2 + 2 =, a far cry from the classic rock hits he'd become famous for. Daltrey and Townsend at Madison Square Garden, 1974. The Quadrophenia tour was a technical disaster. Tapes failing, equipment breaking, Pete losing his mind backstage. But on stage, none of that mattered. Just pure rock and roll firepower. Behind Fats Domino's easygoing charm was a true architect of rock and roll. His 1949 record, The Fat Man, is arguably the very first of its kind. It's no wonder Elvis Presley himself would later call Fats the real king. The Rolling Stones, 1965. This was the year I Can't Get No Satisfaction changed everything, turning them into the world's most dangerous band. This photo perfectly captures their defiant, us against the world attitude as they prepared to conquer it. David Gilmour on the legendary Animals tour in '77. The massive stadium shows were so alienating to Roger Waters that he infamously spat on a fan. That single moment of disgust directly inspired him to write the band's magnum opus, The Wall. Carlos Santana in 1982. While his commercial star had faded from its '70s peak, his spiritual journey was burning bright. This era was less about chasing hits and more about channeling a universal message through his iconic, soaring guitar tone. Deep Purple stepping off their private jet, 1974. Top of the world. This is what making it looks like. But inside the band, fractures everywhere. Egos, directions, musical differences. This Mark III lineup won't last much longer. Enjoy the view while it lasts. London, late 1966. A still unknown Jimi Hendrix freshly arrived from America. He was just starting to turn the London scene upside down, and the military jacket he bought for a few quid would soon become a symbol of a revolution in rock. Alice in Chains, the dark heart of the Seattle scene. But just a few years earlier, they were a glam metal band called Diamond Lie, with big hair and spandex. Their heavy, groundbreaking sound was a direct rebellion against their own glossy past. Jimi Hendrix at the Miami Pop Festival, 1968. He was the biggest rock star on the planet, fresh off releasing Electric Ladyland. This wasn't just playing music, it was a primal, electric ritual, performed by an artist at his absolute peak. Abbey Road, 1972. Dark Side Sessions. That's Alan Parsons at the board. Young, brilliant, figuring out how to make the album sound like nothing else. The clocks, the cash registers, the heartbeat. Half of what makes that record work started right here. Mick Jagger with reggae legend Peter Tosh, 1978. The Stones didn't just admire reggae, they put their money behind it. They signed Tosh to their own label, and Jagger's duet with him helped introduce the reggae rebel to the world. The Glimmer Twins go mystical at Stonehenge. This 1967 photo was for the cover of the Stones' psychedelic answer to Sgt. Pepper. The whole project was a mess, constantly interrupted by legal troubles that landed Mick and Keith in jail. Joan Jett and Debbie Harry, 1979. Two women who didn't ask permission, didn't wait for the boys to make room, just took it. Look at them. Leather, attitude, zero apologies. This photo is a whole era in one frame.